Football Culture Movement.
Yo, what's happening? Welcome back to another week of FCM. You are part of the Football Culture Movement. Listen, you already know what time it is. Got F Diddy in the building.
Hey.
Looking like a crip. Listen, Cam was supposed to be here, but as you know, if you watched the games this weekend, it was looking a bit techie for United. So I think he managed to make sure he wasn't here and then they won. But it's all right, because production's in the main seat today, you get me? My boy Leah's.
Big up.
Yes, sir. My season debut. It's
Come
good to
on.
be back. They were
Long
questioning where I was
overdue,
the first week. 3 weeks in, I'm sitting at the table with you
Listen,
guys.
man. Listen,
Let's
man.
go. FCM, FCL. How about that? Let's go.
That's at the Football Culture League.
Yes,
I like it.
I like
This is
it.
obviously myself, Myron. You already know what time it is, man. Before we go any further, listen, this is a public service announcement. If you're in here right now, please smash like. I'm going to bring it back for those that were here before. Algorithm. Smash the like. Let's get it going. There's a lot to get into, man. Listen.
She used to say apparently we only start on time when everyone's a 3-point collector.
Hold on. We only ever start on time when Cam's not here. That should tell you everything you need to know.
I thought he was going to go somewhere else with that verse.
Nah.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with
You know I'm spitting right now, bro. You streamed of him.
Sorry.
Hey, listen, big up Cam, man. Wherever you are, big you up. But listen, you already know what time it is. This is available on all streaming platforms, but let's get into it. There's a lot to discuss, a lot. So as is tradition with the FCM, if your team played a game this week and you managed to conquer your opponent, you managed to break a curse, you haven't beat them since 2017, or you got a jammy win, or you did something, as long as you collected a win, hold tight the 3-point collectors wherever you are, man. It's not easy.
Hard
Of course,
fought.
listen, man, hold tight the participants as well, because game with two teams. We need them. We need them, innit? We need the participants as well. But yeah, man, it's only right we go into the City Arsenal game. Obviously, you did the watch along.
The big one.
You had City fans. You had Arsenal fans. I heard the roar come out from here, and I was like, okay, someone scored. And then it came up on my feed, whatever I was watching it. But what were our thoughts on the game? Because for me, particularly, for the two runaway title contenders last year, it felt like a scrappy mid-table game. It didn't feel like a high-value thing. It didn't feel like Super Sunday.
Oh man, we got the Super Sunday, the curse. You know, normally they always do the pre-match gas. We got 2 blockbuster games, 2 exciting teams, and it's like, nah, brother, that was not what we got at all. And listen, sometimes you get those type of games, you just kind of hope you see at least bits of individual quality. But even that, it was kind of lacking a little bit. I felt like it was, to be fair, 2 teams that play similar ways. I think that's partly with it they kind of cancelled each other out, if you like. But then, I don't know, it just felt like there wasn't much happening for either team in terms of cohesiveness, build-up play, like out wide. Substitutions didn't really make the big difference I don't think either team expected. And then in the end, it kind of all gets settled by a Martinelli kind of smash and grab, if you like, where it comes
long ball.
Aki deflection, if you like. And in my opinion, I feel like City are kind of walking away unlucky, losing in that, to be fair. I thought, for me, they came in with the right game plan. You're going away to Arsenal. Listen, we did it a couple of weeks ago. Came away with a point, with a kind of performance where you have to go there on the front foot. I think they said, let's give Arsenal the respect they deserve, if you like. And for 60 minutes, I thought they were doing the right job. Arsenal might have had more shots, but there was nothing clear-cut they were really creating. And playing away from home against Arsenal, if you like, that's not the easiest in my opinion. And I thought when Doku come on, when Nunes come on, I thought, all right, now it's activation time. Now we're going to see some movement. And they never really got it. And that's where you don't take your kind of chances, or you don't really build up anything. You leave the game there to be kind of taken. And you got to give Arsenal some credit to actually show some character there, because what is it, 7 years, I think you said, 8 years?
Since
2015.
Yeah, it's a long time. It's been a long
Crazy.
time.
I know they beat them in the Community Shield, but in the league
Was
to
it when
not
Cazorla
even
balled
not
out
even
of the-
draws,
yeah,
but
yeah,
losses every single time,
Yeah.
and now walk away with that. I think it's almost like the perfect hoodoo breaker.
The
for them,
apprentice
if you like.
finally beats the
And
master.
it's a must-win for them. I was saying it, like, obviously when you play against City, you're never the favorite, but they, in my opinion, they had to win
Facts.
this game because City, although they don't go into this game with no pressure, they have the benefit of the doubt that we know City almost start season slow and like they almost kind of figure it out as they go along. Like they're still learning with these new players, these new pieces, how are they going to look in 6 months' time? So you can kind of give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Arsenal, in my opinion, are kind of coming off a season where still people are questioning their title credentials. Like, are they built to do this? Playing at home against a City team without Rodri and De Bruyne,
Yeah.
you aren't going to get a better chance to beat Manchester City
Facts.
in your existence
Yeah.
than right now. So I completely agree with you, bro. I think you have to give them some credit. We're going to talk about different individuals, but to get that last-minute winner in the way they do, it almost summed up the game. Like a scrappy last-minute winner from Martinelli to do it.
And
this
to
is
be fair, he was one of the subs I was going to say. I know that I was saying the subs in it. He was the only one I felt like really
Yeah.
tried to come in and said. You almost felt like he missed playing football.
Of
is
course.
what I'll say.
He
come on
put
and
the game on his shoulders.
Straight away, he got the ball on the left, took two man on.
yeah.
That's what you
back
get from
post and
Martinelli.
said,
I've always been a Martinelli fan. I know he splits opinion a lot because he's very unorthodox in the way he plays. He's not aesthetically the best to watch, but
Yeah.
he creates chaos when he plays. They call him what, game breakers or whatever.
When Jesus spoke to you, what he was saying about himself is how I view Martinelli. Martinelli is electric, and it's very difficult. If you notice City specifically, there's always like a style of footballer that troubles them, and it's that unorthodox,
Mane.
fast.
Yeah.
It's just like systems don't know how to contain that. Because it's like a bug in the system, and you could see anytime he ran, they were like, "Oh, okay."
It's
this
so
is a
true.
bit-
I
it's a
completely
bit
agree.
tricky.
Like the game was awful. Honestly, the first half is one of the worst halves of football you will
Yeah.
see all season because it's what I hate about football right now. It's automated. Everything is like predetermined. It's robotic. The only way you can break that style is with
Chaos.
individuals. And the reason it was such a bad game is because look, De Bruyne is out. Doku wasn't playing. Saka is out. Martinelli isn't playing. Those are four individuals right now that in a moment can change a game on their own. So Martinelli coming on, Doku coming on, they showed some new life to their team. I can't wait to see when these guys get their big hitters back because honestly, I think someone was saying in the super chat, is this the two challengers for the league?
Yeah.
But without their best players.
Do you think initially, obviously, I feel like because Arsenal scored at the end there, but they won the game and now the story is completely different. But the way they were playing at home and especially with the starting lineup, I was pretty surprised with, to be fair, with, is it Nketiah, Jesus on the right,
Trossard,
and then
yeah.
Trossard on the left. Like, did you lot think he went the right way about this in this game?
I
I
think-
felt like there was talks that Martinelli wasn't fully fit.
Yeah.
Saka's not fit, so you have to kind of do that. I think in general, though, when you look at, for me, the reason why I'm particularly giving praise to Arsenal for this performance is, in those sort of games, especially with the Kovacic 2 decisions, it's very easy to just lose your
What
head.
did you lot make of that? actually?
Kovacic should have been sent off.
get your thoughts
Kovacic
on
should
that,
have been
'cause
sent off.
We've been seeing some shaky referee decisions.
Kovacic, I hate the fact that we had a game like this and we're talking about referees again. Kovacic should not have been on the pitch.
I agree.
He should not have been on the pitch. The fact that that there's no even like call for the VAR on the second one because they don't think it's worthy is disgusting. But he shouldn't be on the pitch. He was doing everything in his power to get sent off, and he was still on the pitch.
Twice even. Like,
And he
that's
was
the
still
thing.
on the pitch,
Yeah.
and he was running around thinking he was Rodri.
Do you reckon
and
it's
he stayed on the
because
pitch.
the two tackles were within like a minute of each other?
No,
I
that
think
shouldn't
the first,
count.
I
Do
think
you
the
know-
first one could have been straight red.
Do you know?
bro.
Do you know what the reason why that doesn't count? Because you can get booked for a foul and then get the sent yellow card 2 minutes later.
Yeah, it's
Basically the referee is just piss poor. And the fact that they managed to not lose their heads, come in, because ultimately, not that I think it affected his performance, but Odegaard definitely had a knock after that first challenge, and Declan Rice could have probably had a knock after that challenge as well. So Kovacic came on to just do bully ball, didn't come off at half time. It's like they managed to contain as much as possible, but
I don't
even
feel
like
like
we
both challenges really had malice or intent in
It was just late. It was late.
Yeah, but the thing is, if
I
you're
agree,
late and you don't win the
The
ball,
first one almost, they were saying
like
on
Curtis
stream as
Jones,
well,
right?
kind of reminds of the
Got-
Curtis
got-
Jones one.
got
Curtis Jones
so-
one maybe went over the ball.
Yeah, but
where
he probably
kinda
got-
went
he-
through.
he probably
Gusto
at least
won
got
the
the
ball.
ball. Like, that's
And
Gusto,
that's what I was going to
Gusto
say.
won
This
the
one,
ball.
actually, you could see the Achilles almost could have done
Gusto
it then
won the
and there.
ball and got sent off.
Yeah.
Both of these challenges, he doesn't touch the ball.
But that's my gripe with VAR, right? Like the reason why when United don't get the calls or whatever, I'm not really somebody
brought
that
it to
comes out
United.
and says like, oh, like VAR's against us or whatever. And I'm not saying like Liverpool fans shouldn't have been aggrieved the way they were. Like they had every right to be. But the reality is there's no agenda on any team. VAR is just across the board inconsistent and awful. Awful.
It's the use of it, though, isn't it? It's
Oh, yeah,
use
the
of
people
it. You can't blame
using
technology.
it. I thought the Mike Dean conversation he had with Merson,
Merson,
was so dumb, bro. Like, this guy talking about it's the law. You guys aren't.
You're not administrating the law anyway.
The law's being broken anyways.
You're not administrating the
I
law.
always say you don't win the game via referees anyway. You win the game on the pitch.
And
You know
again,
what I mean?
Arsenal
last week.
What do you mean? We won the game on the pitch.
No,
It was still 0-0 after that.
on the real with this.
Scored, equalised.
12v9.
They're going winner.
On the real with this, you have to give Arsenal, for me, a lot of credit, because again, mentally, when you're playing a team and you've lost consecutively to, in order to show up like that, you have to. And again, you spoke about Martinelli, right? Saka is the star boy, the main man. Someone else has to rise if he's not there.
Facts.
Martinelli did it today. On the other side, the best player in the league, we haven't seen KDB. Rodri the glue, we haven't seen. We need someone else to rise. No one rose for City today.
What about the guy that's supposed to be the best player in the world? What about the Ballon d'Or favorite according to English football fans?
Erling Braut Haaland.
Can you please rise? Is that too much to ask, right? Like last season, I'm gonna take it back. I came out and said that in my eyes, a player like Haaland can never be the best player in the world ever, just because. And it's gonna sound crazy to say, take away the goals. I understand when it comes to scoring goals, no one does it like him. But surely we can all agree that there's more to a football game outside of the one moment where you have to have your striker put the ball in the net. Outside of that, Haaland leaves you so like. If he doesn't have a guy like De Bruyne or players kind of putting the ball in the box into situations where you can go in and attack it and finish it off, he is not giving you enough over 90 minutes to justify best in the world shots. I'm so sorry, bro. In my eyes, a player like that can never, ever be the best footballer in the world, bro. Ever.
Like,
I thought today was very poor.
He was
well,
off,
in
bro.
a sense of just all-round play. I think, as you say, it's sometimes you can say it's just the goals or get out of jail goal or whatever, but overall play, I just feel like sometimes you just have to offer more, even when you know the ball's not falling for you. I feel like right now he's going through I know it's weird to say, but a low confidence moment because the goals aren't falling for him. You've seen some of the chances he missed in some of the other games as well. You're thinking, bro, you gobbled these up last year. Pause. But now, I was waiting for I was on both of your faces go, But no, this season it just doesn't seem like, I don't know why the confidence is lacking a little bit, but it's just not there. But for me, I always feel like the way you get yourself out of these ruts, you almost work your way out of it. I don't feel like he's doing that, and it's almost like I'll let the game come to me. The team is so good, a chance will fall to me. And it felt like today that's what I was waiting for. Those individuals to step up. I saw the two teams were cancelling each other 60, 70 minutes in. I'm like, can someone show me some individual brilliance now? Whether it's an Odegaard, whether it's a Martinelli. Someone grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck, and at no point could you look at Haaland and say, oh yeah, that's City's best player.
And here's
there,
the thing too. Last year, if you look at this fixture, first of all, let's look at both of them. The first one at the Emirates, the first half, Haaland was, for me, nullified by Saliba. And in fact, he actually had to move to Gabriel to have any kind of success, and he ended up having it. The second leg, it actually came right after I said, for me, he can't be the best player in the world because he didn't offer enough. Haaland had his best 90-minute performance against Arsenal at the Etihad last year. He played an unbelievable overall number 9 performance. But this game, he's not really giving you what, even in a goalless Haaland performance, he normally gives you. At least work hard. At least body center backs. At least with your gravity, with like the impact that defenders know you have, move a little bit. Bro, like it seemed like City were playing with 10 men today.
Yeah.
I'll ask you this, and because if you look at City's, obviously moving slightly away from the game, we've got some super chats as well. Do you think Julian Alvarez's input into the team has kind of taken away from Haaland in the sense that there's this player that kind of offers both spectrums of what we need? He can create and he's scoring goals. Therefore, we don't have to just put on the plate for the monster because we can operate in the space. It shouldn't, but could that have had a possible effect?
Because KDB was kind of doing a similar role to what Alvarez was doing last year. Last year, KDB was playing almost like a second striker role where he's just running off Haaland and I'm going to pick up the second balls and I'm going to hit it from the edge of the box and make these deep runs. That's what Alvarez is doing this year. For me, I don't know what it is that's wrong with Haaland. And this isn't now Haaland's a crap player or he's not one of the best strikers anymore. He's not. No, Haaland is incredible.
Facts.
But in a game like this where it's like against one of the biggest rivals, you're playing two of the top centre-backs, we need to see more. And when there's nothing seen on any form, we're going to ask questions and saying, why didn't you perform? Because, I'm sorry, in a game like that, you've got to be leaving some form of imprint. If it's not goals, I need to see some performance. And today, that was poor. I'm sorry.
On this, so we've got a super chat from Adam which says, been saying any decent player, physical poacher, Mitrovic, Tony, Awani, etc. is getting 40 goals a season for City.
Okay.
Erling,
Whoa,
and then
see?
they say, and then
I knew I had to let that finish.
Wait, and then he goes, Erling ain't a top 3 player for City.
Relax.
Well, this is again goes back to what I was saying.
Let's not do the reactionary thing where we go too overboard.
Agreed.
now.
Haaland, again, this kind of goes back to the way I was using the word footballer. I don't believe Haaland is a top 3 footballer at Manchester City, but in terms of just a player. Yeah, bro. Of course, bro. The amount of goals that he scores, I don't agree. I think Haaland would score 20, 30 for Bournemouth, bro, because his movement and his instincts and his finishing is that elite. But it just goes back to what we're saying. When those chances aren't falling to him, and I think that's something you have to look at with City. Haaland will score you goals if you put chances for him. The chances aren't coming. Now what are you giving you? And I think that's on City now to kind of try and rediscover that formula that they had last year that was getting him chances.
They had the issue with that initially when he joined as well. Remember when everyone was like,
they're finding their feet.
They're trying to figure out.
He wasn't finding his feet. He was not scoring.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think one thing he should learn from, in a sense of even look back through City's history books. Look at Aguero.
Yeah.
I think Aguero was similarly like that, where he was a goals machine. But even when he wasn't scoring, he was still giving you something.
But he's an overall player.
He was still stretching defense.
Facilitation.
A handful, bro. Yeah. And he might not have the assist numbers or the creativity to show it, but he was still making himself useful. And I think when you're being lauded as one of the best players in the world, a Ballon d'Or front runner, you have to step up in these games, bro. You have to show that.
Definitely.
What you are, you're
But
being
that's
labeled.
why for me, I think his flaws, and every footballer has flaws, it's natural. His flaws are being exposed at the moment. Like they're being kind of under a microscope at the moment.
We're gonna have to speak about if they've been exposed, is then expose, but because there's a few super chats about Saliba here, but just Rufflin says the game was so similar to the Community Shield, Phil Till XG derby. Liverpool and City are a better matchup for the neutral. Styles makes fights. Understand the point there ultimately.
I thought the Community Shield was a great game, to be honest with you.
I thought it was a good game.
this was.
I understand the point that's being made though.
Yeah,
like when you've got rock and roll versus this sort of machine, it's kind of like okay.
But I don't. That's almost like kind of posing it as a Liverpool versus City. I think the fact that these two are so similar in styles, of course they're not identical, but they are so similar in the way they want to play football. Doesn't make it as much of like a clash of styles the way it was Liverpool and City. It's like, wow, it's almost two identities completely going against each other, like complete different philosophies.
That's what we're saying. Styles make matches. If you like, it's more entertaining to see two things that are different than.
Yeah, it's like Ali versus Ali right now.
Literally. Let's go into it. So we've got Hakeem W. It says Saliba will be a top 10 centre half of all time.
It's too early
top
to say
10
that kind
Prem
of
centre
stuff.
half of all time. Top 10 Prem centre half of all time. So hold that one. So hold that thought.
Doable.
We also have Saliba and Rice today. Shout from M. We also have some more about Saliba here. What we got? Saliba. Silver says, speak on Saliba, ridiculous talent. People hype up Headband Man and Doku when there's Martinelli at home, but he's not rated because he runs like a dog. Shout Lias for propping him up. Throw them and watching. What else we got?
Another quiet one today as well, Foden.
Yeah.
We've got one from Prince Kweyama, which says, when was the last time someone nullified City like that? See, the nullifying is a bit...
I almost feel like they nullified themselves.
I don't think they were nullified.
Honestly, City kind of came to this game. The biggest issue for me was the urgency. It didn't seem like there was a lot of like to their game today.
For me, it was too much respect being shown to Arsenal. That's what I felt like. I felt like it was Pep trying to be cautious of Arsenal at home. It's still early in the season. I don't want to take this L after just losing back-to-back games.
For me, I don't know. I just felt like they didn't get out of second gear.
So this one, AK goes, they are all gunmen until Willie Saliba walks into the room. Fuad looked very upset at the result. I hope he's good. All right.
What am I upset about the result? Listen, get your wins, man. I got mine, man. Nice and early on the Saturday.
We saw that before and after.
Listen, a true hater never rests.
Before we go into it, make sure you're liking, sharing, smash the like button. But let's get into this conversation now. Saliba.
Top.
I know my bro here is going to have some thoughts, but I need to just address things in general. I think it was this week he came out and said, if I wasn't injured, we would have won the league. Which I thought was big stick talk from him.
Bad boy.
I respect that. I respect that. That was big stick talk. And in this game today, for me, he put a great performance. But what I like about him is him and Gabriel are a young centre-half partnership, right? And they seem to balance, as a partnership, not just a pairing.
Yeah.
They're a very good partnership. They balance each other really well.
Agree.
You made the point that last year when Haaland wasn't getting any joy with Saliba, went to Gabriel. That doesn't happen anymore because we're going to lock things down today. There was one point where we've always said that if people just stick it on Haaland a little bit, he'll probably go into his shell a little bit. There's one point today where off the ball, it was a chase. Saliba had the pace in him, he had the strength in him, and I didn't see Haaland for a bit longer.
I was going to say, because I hear that a lot as well, too, if you kind of give him the physical side. The reality is, not many center backs can physically compete with Haaland. Who was it with Brighton last year? Was it Veltman or someone? He just nudges on the ground. Like, you can't do that with him. But Saliba has the physical tools to compete with a guy like Haaland for me.
And the thing is, it's one thing to have the tools, but it's another thing to apply it. Like, how many defenders do we see they're scared before the game even starts? Because it's like, oh my God, they move by object. I really respect the performance of them as a partnership today, especially because it's one of those games where one moment it easily turns. We always, especially when you got in the first half what the goalkeeper was doing.
Raya.
Yeah, no.
I'm interested in seeing, by the way, how where this kind of goes.
How
from
stubborn
here.
Arteta is.
Yes,
That's all. I'm watching the Raya situation just to see Arteta's stubbornness, because so far I've not seen anything to say Raya's better than Ramsdale.
I think he's been worse than Ramsdale.
I'm
not a big Ramsdale fan personally.
Thank you very much.
But Raya has not come in and shown me why Arsenal split with this much money to give competition to Ramsdale. That I haven't seen it yet.
Again, that's why I rank the two centre halves, because imagine you've got tried and tested. You've got this new guy. You're trying to have to coach him to this how we do pass ends and whatnot, and keep the structure.
I thought they were good today. I thought they were decent, but they didn't have too much to deal with, in my opinion. Like, as we were saying, City barely got out of second gear. I don't think City were coming wave after wave of attacks like they normally do. They didn't have the wingers bombing on like they normally do. Like, they almost suppressed themselves a little bit. And then as we're saying, Haaland, I felt like didn't even turn up today. So you're kind of playing. Listen, fair play. You are the ones shutting him up.
When you keep a clean sheet against City, you deserve credit.
You deserve credit. I'm not taking it away, but I'm saying I've seen them play better against better teams as well. Well, maybe not better teams, but I've seen them definitely have monstrous games where I'm walking away like, yo, Gabriel, that's a dog right there. Saliba, that's a Rolls Royce. Today was one of those games where I'm like, you did what you had to do, and okay, you kept a clean sheet.
The spotlight's on, and that's why it's a culmination. Like, we're not talking about this game just specifically; it's in general. It's a culmination. And at the end, to your point, in the big moments, you have to deliver.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
it's only one. It might have only been two chances, but you delivered. How many times we see two quality teams?
I saw a stat saying Saliba 100% aerial duels.
It's probably
it was only one header he competed for today. Right?
There's that one clip though, and I mean, okay, I don't want this to be like, oh, this was Saliba versus Haaland in a nutshell, but like, I think what was it? A ball in transition to Haaland.
Yes.
Saliba just kind of nudges him.
Yes, the little 50-50.
And that's what I'm saying. Like Saliba, the guy who was saying he can go down as a top 10 center back of all time, I think that's too. I'm not saying he can't, but it's too premature to say that. But the trajectory that he's on, bro, he has everything in his game to go down as one of the best center backs in this sport, for sure.
Who else do we need to talk about? This super chat actually gives some. So this is Friendly Yenemi, who says Declan Rice is immense. Gabriel was targeted and showed his class. 14 was a handbrake. Havertz stepped up. Havertz got his assist, man. Havertz got his assist.
Hold on. Havertz came on and had a good impact.
Havertz got his assist, man.
What are we doing here? Martinelli smacks that off Ake's face. And we're crediting Havertz an assist. That's an FPL assist, bro.
Havertz got his assist.
When he came on, he occupied the center back, played well, but assist
Listen, man,
hype, bro. What?
He left with something.
That's like Busquets to Messi against Real Madrid.
Goal contribution.
Tom Carroll to Bale.
This is where stats are ruining the game, bro. Honestly,
he got his contribution, but Rice today as well. Again,
I think Martinelli assisted that off Ake's face. That's what happened.
Rice was good today.
Rice was. A lot of people were saying that
up
first.
A lot of ground in the middle. Yeah.
I think when we spoke about 2 weeks ago, I said if he's injured for this game, I worry about them.
Yeah.
But you made an interesting point when we were talking before, and you were saying that with the City on the Rodri side, City don't have a like replacement for Rodri. Speak to it.
I mean, it's true, right? Like, you look at the distrust that Pep has for Calvin Phillips. He doesn't hide it whatsoever. He would rather play anybody in that midfield trio and like completely change the shape up rather than trust who he brought in to be his second defensive midfield. But I don't think it's about City, to be honest. I think the stat was the last 3 domestic games without Rodri, City have lost all 3 of them. Me and Fuad were talking about it. Is he City's most indispensable player? We've seen City have success without De Bruyne. We've seen City have success without Erling Haaland. About Rodri, the fact that there is no replacement and how crucial he is to a Pep system, how usually the DM is the most crucial bit to a Pep system. They can't live without him at the moment. But on the other side, Rice, man, I came out the second week of the season when I was doing that combined 11 with Robbie on for United Arsenal, and I said I'm taking Rice over Casemiro, and it seemed a little premature at the time. Rice belongs in conversations above current day Casemiro at this point, man. The guy has everything to his game. You talk about athletes in today's modern day game. Rice can cover ground both on the ball and off it like nobody's business. His passing is improving. I think that was one of the biggest concerns. Could he make the step up to a team that has more possession? He's showing he can do that.
Do you think Partey coming back in the second half as well, moving in that midfield, that gives him more license to do those things now?
Yeah, because
I feel like Partey,
you don't have to protect
the right back
Jorginho.
experiment, let it be done with. Let Ben White get back to doing what he's doing, but give Rice the license he almost had at West Ham and get Partey back
100%.
doing what he needs to do.
No, he didn't have to. You didn't have to protect Jorginho, innit? Because if you think about the mistake that happened in the last game, it's because Jorginho was just on an island by himself. So once you're off bodyguard duties, you kind of can't get to express yourself. But the reason why, like, to what you're saying, I don't think there's many combative centre mids anymore that are just able to do it.
Basuma.
I was going to say, I disagree. I actually think that's where the game is going in right now. That's one of my biggest gripes about United. For example, there's not enough athletes in there.
The level of quality.
Oh, yeah, he is a super athlete, in my opinion. Declan Rice is one of the most athletic players.
Because you can have people that can run around, but they're still not doing what needs to be done.
But I think Pep recognized that, and that's why he wanted to sign him in the summer, bro. Like, the way City is adapting into these physical beasts now. He saw Declan Rice, and he's like, yeah, he can play next to Rodri.
I feel like Pep would have slotted him out centre-back and said,
you have to pass, you stop, you Rico Lewis.
I know Pep, man.
My point is, he wants just athletes that can occupy different roles and just play. That's Declan Rice for you.
No,
so speaking on Pep though, this is the first time.
You know, one other person I think deserves a shout out in that game as well. I think Vardiol for City, I thought was good. Even though they lost in the end, I thought that was one of his best performances. I don't know what the SofaScore ratings or whatever have given him, but from what I saw there, he was a unit today.
You can tell.
And there was a couple of crosses even when he got up the pitch where I was like, hey, all right.
He's still
I know you had the little diagonal 70-yard spray, but you got a little whip on you as well, yeah?
Back though, to be honest with you, like the role Ake played like last season as like that left back. I know he's trying to make Gvardiol into that now. I think Gvardiol is a center back.
I think that as well, and I'm like, let Ake do what he was doing. Why have you moved him more centrally?
This is my whole point about Pep and City. Right now, they are just in kind of like, let's figure it out. We know this is what they do, bro. They don't start clicking until December. January.
Should they be worried now? 3 losses in a row, Carabao Cup.
I think ultimately,
I think last time they lost in the league back to back, 2018. So
I don't think so.
The last time they lost back to back in the league, they went on like a 15-game win streak.
They won the league, with like 100 points or something, or 99 points.
A winning streak will come, like for sure.
It always does.
It's just one of those things where Rodri was out because he was suspended, right? You now have to think, okay, what if he was actually to get injured? It then becomes an interesting conversation, not just for the league, but for the European hopes. That's where it's because now people look at me as this is your crown jewel. Like, as you said, KDB, you're fine. Haaland, you're fine. Rodri, okay, if this guy gets injured, we'll see what happens because there's not someone that's going to fill in there and just do the job. First half, they had Bernardo Silva playing in 6. Second half, they had John Stones.
Do you remember the Bernardo Silva left-back experiment?
Yeah, Arsenal, that was Arsenal.
People don't realize, too. I mean, they do because he played him in the final, but Gundogan was also somebody who could kind of play in the 6 in the smaller games. Like, okay, you can't do it every single game, but he can adapt that role. They have nobody right now that can even do half of what Rodri does at the moment.
Super chats, we've got J Mons, a nerd that says, definitely prefer Declan Rice as the box-to-box with Partey as the holding midfielder. With him up top, I don't feel we're missing buddies back. Someone, Jiba Football says Onana is next stop DM profile. Onana from Everton, not the Onana from.
I was gonna say the Onana from United. Maybe you should start playing DM too.
We got Sultan that says, "Come on, you Gollers. Parland is only good when served." Parland is.
He does miss KDB.
That is an insane slander name.
He does.
Prince Kuyama says, "Last time City had 4 shots was 2018," which shows you how mad they're going. I think this is Nitish says JD10, big games, Doku hype, no space, no party.
Yeah, you man. The narrative changes are crazy now.
I'm staying out.
I love it.
They love it. Ested put respect on Saliba's name, by the way, generational for real. Have I missed any? Let's see. Speak on Saliba, we spoke on Saliba. J Mons and Nerd says 3-point collectors, come on you Gunners, dope Nigerian shirt. And yeah, I mean, in general though, what does this do for Arsenal's hopes? Top of the league with Spurs.
Like I said, it's a must-win. It was a must-win for them. They got business done, and now international break, and I think now when they come back,
Yeah.
this is where I think they need to start like getting their system in place. Because I think the first few games of the season has kind of, I don't want to call it survival mode, but it wasn't like last season where they just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
You knew what their 11 was every single game.
Yeah.
I think now they've got the results on the board, even though they haven't played the best, which is a great sign for a team trying to win the league. When they get back, let's see some style to that as well too. I think they're in a great place.
No, 100%, man. I mean,
I don't even think style is like a necessary as well. I think they showed that a lot last year. I think if you ask Arsenal fans, well, of course they'd love the style, but if you told them, yo, you're gonna win your games without looking,
But I just think right now their games are too like, okay, it could have gone this way, could have gone that way.
Fairs, yeah.
Like they need to start winning with conviction.
Some
in
more
my opinion.
some more conviction.
And I think that comes with style, in
behind
my
the results,
opinion. Yeah.
I mean, was it Bournemouth that they beat like 4-1?
Yeah, them,
Like
they
yeah, I think
And
they
PSV
can.
as well. In the
Yeah, they
Champions
can.
League,
They've
look good
shown
as
at times
In
they
Europe
can
they've
do
been
it,
good, yeah.
but they've shown a few times where it's like, oh, this is a bit too close. But I mean, credit where credit's due, man. There was no way we couldn't put respect on them. A game I want to talk about though. Liverpool dropped points to Brighton,
Yeah.
but the actual game itself,
Brilliant game.
we went from this was supposed to be the creme de la creme,
Yeah.
but that game.
These
that
are
was
the
football.
teams.
You knew that
I'll
though,
put it
man,
on the
yeah.
record. These are the two best footballing teams in the league right now in terms of the way they play football. They play the most entertaining football, in my opinion. City and Arsenal are the best, but they are just way too predictable. You just know what's going to happen. Brighton, I kind of wanted you to bring them up for a reason. I feel like they're getting disrespected this season because I think people have gotten comfortable with Brighton being so good so recently that they take for granted how incredible of a job their recruitment has been, how incredible of a job De Zerbi has done. The fact that Brighton are playing midweek games in the Europa League for me is unheard of, and I think again it's almost like they're victims of their own success. Now people are looking at them a different way, but you look at the amount of money that they spent. They just lost 130 million worth of talent in McAllister and Caicedo, and they don't really look like they've missed a beat. I think that's not normal, and I think people have to start recognizing that, in my opinion.
I think even when you break it down to a T, I think with teams like Brighton, yeah, people always wait for their downfall because you know in Premier League history, there's always one team that challenges and it's like we've had enough of you, get away.
Yeah.
Brighton have lost, like you're talking about players. Look at the infrastructure, the building.
It's gone. Yeah.
They've lost managers, they've lost recruitment, and all of these like NCPs are popping up.
NCPs.
MVPs are popping up and just performing. And like, don't get me wrong, they're conceding a lot of goals. They're leaky at the back. They scored a lot of goals though. They're in a place where, similar to where we're saying that City are going to find what their rhythm and whatnot, Brighton are still trying to find their rhythm this season and performing well.
Yeah.
You could argue that they would have probably thought we can go on and try and get the win at some point in this game.
Yeah, but now you're kind of seeing your squad depth get tested. And this is why I wanted De Zerbi to stay last year when he was linked with those Inter Milan, Juve jobs. I said, you're going to feel what really now, because you've had the kind of bubble exciting period, if you like, but now you get to see the other side of the circle, if you like, where you're going to have to rotate your squad. You're going to get player injuries. You're going to have star players missing out. You're going to have to sell some key players. How are you going to replace those? And now you're kind of seeing Brighton going through that. And listen, this is just the rigors of the game. I think great recovery to come back midweek against Marseille as well, because they were 2-0 down in that, and they lost the first group game as well, and then now against Liverpool as well to come back. I'm like, listen,
I've got a question.
You take a bit of credit there, but I think now, what is it, 2 games they've drawn now. They lost to the Carabao Cup to you guys, so they want to start picking up wins soon.
But here's the thing, right? Everything you just said is spot on.
Yeah.
They're still 6th, bro. They're 6th, 1 point behind Liverpool, 2 behind City.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
the start was incredible, is what you got.
Yeah, and so like, yes, Brighton are kind of going through it. They're still discovering themselves. They're still like they're bringing in players that most of us have never even heard of. And through all of that, they're losing 6-1. They're dropping points in Europe. They're still in a great position, bro.
Yeah.
You're saying, oh, Brighton need to define themselves. They don't even need to, bro. Brighton
Brighton know
are
what
playing
they
with
are.
house.
For what
They're
they
playing
are.
with house money.
I think the only thing that's happening with Brighton this year is your squad is getting tested a little bit more, which you have to rotate more. And now you're kind of seeing the ups and downs of kind of the next season, I feel like, after European football. But this is normal part and parcel. I don't think they're going to struggle per se, because I think they've got the quality as well, in my opinion. But now it's just I just want to see how De Zerbi handles it. Welcome to the big boys table. You've competed with us for some of the transfers and things like that. Okay. Now let's see you get that top 6 finish again with European football. And we've seen West Ham have gone through that. We've seen Leicester go through that, where they're in and around the kind of outsiders. But once the European football comes, it gets tough to compete with. West Ham were fighting relegation at one point last year. Still went on to win the conference. So it can go either way. But if they can keep a good balance,
compared to these teams you're talking about, right? Like West Ham in particular. Look at the amount of money they spend. Brighton their net spend must be like -50, bro. Honestly, this lost 100, like it's more than 130. Bro, between Caicedo and
It's a lot.
McAllister.
It's a lot. But with the Brighton thing, I just wanted you to use that as a segue because now let's start asking important questions. We're gonna have to speak about your team, Mister. I'm top of the league. I'm cool. I'm wearing blue. Arsenal managed to get their Arsenal got their 3 points.
Yeah.
Liverpool dropped points. Spurs are still top of the table. As things are right now, in terms of competing or how it's looking, who is actually in the run for actually competing over the longevity
For the
season?
league, you mean?
You're
Yes.
crazy if you're even thinking about
Because
the title
I say
race
that
right
to
now.
say this.
Yeah, it's true.
Cam came and said Liverpool are back
Yeah.
because of the way they are and the heritage they have and everything. With this performance, it highlights something I highlighted a few weeks ago where, yes, the defence is better, but individual mistakes keep costing them, and I don't know how long they can balance that out with scoring goals on the other end. Spurs, on the other hand, we spoke about centre-half partnerships. At Arsenal, very good centre-half partnership. Style of football is great. Getting your wins, even when you're playing against 10 men and you can overcomplicate, you manage to get your win and whatnot. Things are going well over there. Arsenal have beat City now. They've broken the hoodoo. They think they can go on. For the next few weeks in the league, what is it looking like is going to happen? Because can you just sit there and be like, yeah, we're not involved? Do you not feel anything right now?
What?
Do you feel like Spurs can kick on from it properly?
Please. Don't do the typical Sky Sports thing where you try and drag Spurs into
It's not a Sky Sports thing. I'm asking you a question. You're top of the table.
Anybody trying to drag us in any title talk is being disingenuous, in my opinion. We are not until we get to the Arsenal situation where it's week 32 and we're still top. I don't want to hear no talk about that. Like, our aim is if we can get Champions League football, fantastic season. This is reset year. This is transition year. This is new manager year. Listen, I struggled against Luton on the weekend, bruv. You see, I'm just grateful to take my 3 points, man. Don't worry about me.
I feel similar to him.
Don't worry
it's
about
kind of
me.
like what I was saying about Brighton, man. Like Spurs are playing with house money right now. Bro.
Yeah,
Honestly,
man.
There was no. I was laughing so much last week when people were saying, "Oh, Spurs are getting overrated now. The gas is getting unbearable." Half of you guys had Spurs finishing bottom half,
Thank
bro.
you.
What they are doing right now, none of us predicted they were able to do. And I had high hopes for you guys. I
Yeah.
still didn't think you guys would be first going into the second international break.
No.
So at this point, yeah, you're saying, "Oh, what's the Spurs' expectation?
think-
Should be looking at this."
not
Enjoy
my
yourself, bro.
expectation.
What's happened is
Where is
after
the
the first
momentum with you
international
guys?
break, it was like you had the honeymoon period of the easy games.
Yeah.
You've come through that.
Yeah.
Now
had
you're going to
difficult
face
games.
Arsenal. Now you're going to face Liverpool. How are you going to react to it? And we've come out of that
Unscathed.
Okay.
unscathed. Now it's like, okay, what's the next test? Now we can see where do we get up to
No,
until
but I'm-
Christmas.
but
For
I'm
me, that's
asking you.
all this season is. It's like, where can we go? Where can we go? Where can we go? Because all it will take, I'm telling you now, is Maddison going down,
Yep.
Van der Ven going down, season done, kaput. Well, back to Eric Dyer and my man in the midfield, Højbjerg. We're done at it.
But you've
so for
just
me,
answered,
it's
you
like-
just answered the question. Though.
Yeah.
You're saying
So-
that ultimately, easy, relatively stable period, tick.
Yes.
Harder period, tick. Where can we go from here?
You see, harder period, I don't even believe has come. I don't
Okay,
think,
hard-
I don't think you're
a-
looking at
a hard period.
Those two games were hard, but the Liverpool one I feel like was supposed to be a test, but didn't become one because of the refereeing situation or whatever. That led the game.
Those
to be
games are easy to go left, bro.
Previous years we would have, and even the Luton game on the weekend when we go down to 10 men with a half to go, we would have normally capitulated.
Those goals
there.
can game
So
left.
that's where I'm like, and just creating a bit of a new culture, and it's like, yo, the players are actually in a lot of games. I'm seeing character all the way up until the last minute. We saw it against Liverpool. We saw it against Sheffield. It's like, okay, previous years we wouldn't have done this. Brentford making a comeback. United second half improving. We didn't do that previous year. So for me, it's like, as long as my team can keep improving week by week, as long as I see individuals stepping up, players like Van der Ven, I think you even went lightly there.
That's what
He
we're
has
speaking
been
of.
a revelation, bro. And I was one of those when he came in, I was skeptical. Listen, I know 2 weeks ago we were sat here talking about, yo, Cancelo curse, Leah's curse, Jesus curse.
Yeah.
I gotta give my guy
Give me
Leah
that
some
give me
juice
that
right now,
damn
you
respect,
know.
man. Give me
Hey,
that damn respect, man.
my bro over there sat there with him.
After week 2.
Listen, after week 2, he bought his stocks early, and he was telling me, bro, he is one. And I remember the first game when he scored that own goal as well. I said, aside from the own goal, he actually had a solid performance. Let's see what he can build on. Week by week, this guy has gotten better. And this week, I'll give him my champion of the week now because getting the winner, keeping a clean sheet, 10 men, your first goal for the club as well. I think defensively he's been a monster so far. And you talk about kind of early on with Saliba and Gabriel, that type of partnership. That's what I'm looking at. Romero and Van der Ven now.
Good partnership.
It's a yin, it's a yang. You know, one is aggressive, front foot. You know, one is sweeping.
Composed.
Roadrunner can recover anything this way. But the luxury is the same way Saliba can also do the dirty work. Gabriel can also play a little bit of football. Romero can play a little bit of football. I can do a bit of dirty work, Van der Ven, and that's what I love. And you got to remember, we haven't had centre-backs for years, brother. So seeing this now, I'm like, wow.
Is this your Toby and
Listen, I can't like the closest thing we've come to a play. Now it's only 8 games, so
Yeah.
I feel
That's
like
the thing
Romero now you're getting.
Sorry,
this
bro. One
because
thing
he's
quickly. It's like I'm not trying to say like thing is ultimately we have to. You guys are top of the league, therefore we have to address it.
Oh,
I'm not saying that you're going to go and win the league or anything, but in this
what
moment,
we've done to get here, we've earned to be here.
think about it. Compared to like previous years, you have a goalkeeper you can trust. You have a centre back partnership. You have a creative midfielder.
The spine.
You have a striker that can get goals. Your creative midfielder's got 5 assists, the most in the league. Like, we have to talk about what's going on and how this is
But
8 games in.
What you can't be fooled into though is it's all surface level as well at the same time. Because as I'm saying is the benefit the Chelseas, the Cities, the Liverpools, they've got strength and depth. Even Arsenal, strength and depth. We don't have that, and we're lucky that we have 1 game a week. We're lucky we don't have no European football. Because if it was like the Brighton situation, we'd be getting tested and we'd be getting bopped midweek in Europe, and then it'd be like, yo, we're tired for the weekend, and now we're drawing and dropping points. So it'd be a whole different situation. So for me to sit here and be like, yeah, we're back, and you know, we're serious. There's still a lot of work to do. There's still bigger tests to come. So for me, it's like, I'm enjoying it right now.
Spurs right now are where United fans wanted to be this season.
Yeah.
The first season of a new manager is almost like what United was last season. Okay, you get through the ugly phases, you kind of adapt your style to suit the players you have at your disposal. It's survival mode. And then the second season is where the coach is supposed to start implementing his ideas and you start playing, you start resembling his philosophy of football. And that's where United fans hoped United would be. Ange has skipped the first season and
so far.
So far he's skipped the first season, and his team is a reflection of the way they are. Spurs should be in dreamland right now.
As outsiders looking in, how do you lot see Spurs? Because I know, like, for Spurs fans, we're in dreamland. We're just like, yo, we're enjoying it. We haven't had defenders. We've got creative midfielders. We've got a defensive midfielder that can play ball. But as outsiders looking in, are you lot still looking at us as like, nah, this is... Because I know, I haven't even got a conversation on, but I'm sure people are saying like, Christmas time afterwards, you lot will be back or whatever. Or are you lot actually looking at it like, no, there's actually something solid being built.
Well, there's a super chat that's just come in, and it says it's from Fuad Kadani's army, and it says,
hey, this is my op. I haven't even read the comment.
But listen, just wait. Fuad Kadani's army says, life without Kane, first. Life with Kane, Bayern,
you lot stink.
Third.
No, I knew he was an op. You see, he's an op. I'm sorry.
He's back in Spurs.
Your army stinks, bro.
This life post-Kane narrative, because it's a whole different era, a whole different manager, a whole different system. Kane carried us for years, bro. Don't turn into ungrateful pigs now. Yeah,
it's true.
But
I'm with him.
I want to get you lot's thoughts on Spurs because I sit here every week.
I want to see the first loss. I want to see how you handle the first loss.
Yeah,
that's what it is for me. Because ultimately, you can't deny the way that they're playing football. You can't deny James Maddison is proving the Premier League. Like, you know what he was going to offer. Son is proving the Premier League and what he's doing. The centre-halves already, they look great. The 2 games that you've played against Liverpool and Arsenal, I liked the performances. So I don't think it can go left. I do feel like you need more bodies in there. I do feel like you're going to get tired of like the Richarlisons and whatnot because in order to do anything, you can't just have a core. You need like supporting cast. Yeah. You need supporting cast that can supplement what you're doing.
That's where Spurs will be let down.
And that's where you'll be let down. Yeah. But I want to see the reaction after the first loss.
Let me say this about Spurs. I think naturally their title challenge, if you even want to call it at this point, I think will fall off eventually. Not because of the injuries, of course. That can hurt any team. You looked at Arsenal last season. But I just look, for example, the Liverpool game. You ended up getting the winner, but I think there's a real lack of X factor, individualism in that Spurs team, which is normal because we're only in Ange's first year. Those guys that aren't good enough will be shedded as years go by and you start bringing in top players. So I think that eventually, that top-end talent that City has, that Liverpool has, that Arsenal has, Spurs will be let down in that regard. But in terms of fighting for top 4, top 5 even this year because they make the Champions League, Spurs are 100% in that race because United look a million miles off it. Chelsea are starting to pick up form a little. We'll talk about you guys in a bit, but I don't think they're at that stage to make top 4 this early into their process. Brighton and Newcastle were raving about them, but are they any better really in terms of individual players than Spurs are? Are they better coached maybe by a little than Spurs are? And is showing great things. So Spurs can 1,000% make top 4, but I think the title, as Fuad will tell you himself, it'll fizzle out eventually.
Yeah. Boy, you ready to go to United?
Yeah, if he is.
Boy,
Let me get back to the production over there.
we must address. You know, I'm just gonna throw it out there. This Onana sort of experiment going on.
I love how he says an experiment.
Are you done with
You want to
Onana?
start there? I was gonna say.
No, I want to start with Onana.
Okay.
Are you done with Onana?
Onana is such a weird, like it's bewildering to me, bro. That we went through so many years of this bullshit with De Gea, bro, and it almost seemed like, yo. I mean, I was telling me and Kim were talking, bro. There's no way it can get worse than this. It's gotten worse than this, bro. What I am seeing from Onana is so bewildering because, bro, I feel like I got a pretty good eye for footballers.
Yeah.
I would never have, even though I thought he had a bozo moment in him, I would never have expected this from him, bro. And I feel like it almost just sums up United post-Fergie. Everybody that we sign, we're cursed, bro. Di Maria came here and he started catching the ball in bounds. You remember that game against Liverpool? Cristiano Ronaldo came here and he looked like a bum. Onana has come here and genuinely, like, his wrists are made out of jello right now, bro. Every single shot that goes against this guy, I don't feel confident with him. And the biggest worry right now is, right, a striker, when he's in a rut, if he scores a goal, okay, it can give you some confidence. With Onana, I don't know what you do with him because if you drop him, I almost feel like that's it for him. Dropping a goalkeeper, I feel like, is the final nail in the dagger because imagine the backup goalkeeper now comes in and looks amazing. Onana's not getting his spot back.
Yeah.
And we invested so much in him and he's such a big character that I almost feel we have to, like, ride this bad patch with him and hope that the good form comes up.
Yeah.
But the way it's looking, bro.
The thing is, you
Everything looks like
signed
it's
two goalkeepers though, so you can kind of get. You know how Arteta did this whole. They're competing.
You know who the one is, though.
Bro, but
Yeah.
everyone's talking about this Bayern cat right now, bro. I was seeing Turkish people saying apparently there's a game last season where he started crying on the pitch, bro. Apparently this guy's not he's not certified either,
Get
bro.
him out of here. That's not real, man.
Bro, so
No,
I don't know what to do with Onana at the moment, bro. Like I think it's almost a case of like Karius, like his confidence might get to a point where he just gets
ask
shot.
you that. You see, like, I know it's a confidence thing at the moment, but how bad is it? Because I think you hit a key point there as well for goalkeepers, especially. How do you raise that confidence? I know you can say, "Oh, clean sheets," but you've got to earn those clean sheets.
Do you know it's hard
and
to
the problem
raise
is,
as well?
is so many of these goals he's conceding straight down
That's
the
my
middle.
problem, bro. They're
Right
bowlers.
at him.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, brother, I could have said that. Like, you don't need to be a pro with some of them.
It's not even like the ones that are going at him too. Icardi is chipping him, bro, from 3 yards away, bro. This guy's going to ground so early. We were kind of like seeing Onana last season as like, okay, he's the antithesis of De Gea because De Gea stays to his line. Onana is more proactive. Bro, this guy's rooted to his line too.
I really do
I
think though.
I
I really
think
do
they
think
did a
that
poll.
you have to ride it out, man.
I think production did a poll who's a better goalkeeper. I can't see the actual question, but it says Giroud 81%. So if the question is what I think the question is,
But we're at a point right now too, right? Because United mentally are so fragile in terms of they can see the goal and it's just heads just drop. If you watch most United games recently, and this is coming from massive pessimists when it comes to United, we're actually starting games pretty well. Like we're actually starting games on the front foot, but we're conceding absolute individual howlers, bro. Onana is genuinely picking up the ball and throwing it
Can
into
I give you a perspective of someone that's not United fan of United at the moment? Yeah. You see, when I watch United this week, and I watched United play hero ball with Scott McTominay, and he did the whole Braveheart passion. He passioned you.
Don't do that.
He's
man.
in his Bellingham
Don't
bag.
do that.
No. Listen.
Give him his flowers.
I am giving his flowers. He said, "I'm gonna have to do it." Same thing he does to Scotland.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to carry.
Poach Tomine, bro.
Tomiwa, he's Nigerian. It's the same thing when you were saying that someone has to rise for us.
Yeah.
There's a serious mentality issue in that club, man.
Of course.
It's like they can't, as a team, just decide that they're going to be competent. And with this goalkeeper situation, the reason it's so bad is because if you're a goalkeeper in your bad form, you make the defense more scared. It's bad enough that the defense ain't good anyway. So now it's like it's just nerves through the whole team. Like you said, you can start better, but as soon as someone goes in the break, you're thinking, this is a goal.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you this as well too. I always say a manager is judged off two things: results and his signings. And Ten Hag, even before Onana came in, there were question marks circulating. What's his talent ID? Is it really up to scratch? There are rumors in the summer that even the board doesn't feel comfortable giving him as much power as they initially did. This Onana thing has, and bear in mind as well, he basically outed what many people consider a club legend in De Gea. This Onana thing has to go right for him, bro.
Yeah.
Because there's already so many question marks surrounding Erik Ten Hag at the moment that the last thing he needs is his trusted guys from Ajax that were supposed to be coming in. And okay, if I can't count on anyone, I can count on them for them to start going wrong.
Yeah.
Because then it's really curtains for the guy, bro.
Listen, but it's United. Look at the Galatasaray game. You scored what, 2 goals, concede 3. It's like United show that they can score goals, but you just guys got
even the goals we're scoring, bro. Even the goals we're scoring, right, are moments of brilliance or like on the break. Let's be real here. United, okay, they end up scoring 2. I was thinking the entire game, bro. We could give United 3 days to score a goal and they wouldn't do it. And they got something at the very death through like I don't even know how, but they do not look convincing even in front of goal, bro. Højlund, the goals he scored midweek, bro. The second goal that he scores is like a miracle goal, bro. He just literally runs the entire length of the pitch. Rashford's goals only come through transition. So,
listen,
I don't know.
I was going to say, though, McTominay, I think, deserves a lot of credit, man.
Yeah,
Didn't get much football this whole season. Was basically being shopped around all summer. Keep your head down. Keep working. My time will come. And what better timing than Fergie time?
Yeah,
after
facts.
losing Kathy.
Facts.
Big way to come on and make an impact, in my opinion. Listen, for me, I think that's massive from him. And I've seen it with Gallagher at your club as well. These guys who I always feel like are made to be scapegoats. I always feel like they're grafters in midfield, if you like. They're not the technical, easy on the eye, as everyone says. But I've always said you need players like that. Regardless of what club, what style you play, you need guys who are willing to run through a brick wall, that come out of the academy, that understand what this club is about. And you saw that, prime example. And I feel like a lot of United fans wish they'd see more of that from Rashford sometimes. But you see that with McTominay. And I feel like moments like this, you have to give him his dues for all the slander he gets for when he's not good. When he's come in and save the day, literally, give him his dues.
No, of course.
Man.
I was actually going to say him and Garnacho. I think Garnacho is another one, too, that people have a mixed opinion on. Like, is he better off the bench? These guys, love him or hate him, came into the game and brought urgency. And no matter what people think of Rashford or Casemiro, who is, for me, the biggest talking point of this game. I think this might be the last time we see Casemiro starting for a while. Him taking him off and then coming out saying, I needed more football is damning on Casemiro at this stage of his career. But those guys, and I think even when we're seeing now Menu should be coming back after the international break. Ahmad should be coming back after the international break. Ten Hag is going to have to eventually
turn to the kids,
bro, because the guys that were his trusted soldiers last year aren't cutting it for him, bro. And I've said it so many times about United and these managers. You are going to have to die on your sword at some point, bro, because you're going to rely on players that have let manager after manager after manager down. At some point, you got to scrap them and go with these kids who, like you said, bro, will die for the badge, man. As cliche as it sounds.
I'm not saying like, start McTominay. Start Gallagher week in, week out. And I think the frustration with a McTominay was, him and Fred, they're taking up the space of better quality midfielders. But if you have these guys on the bench, they are willing to come on. Give me 5 minutes, I'll come on. Give me 20 minutes, I'll come on. Start me, I'll give everything. They're like, that's what I felt like guys like Fletcher, O'Shea, Brown, all the great teams, you can point out players and say, all right, he might not be the most talented. He did his job, though. And that's what I feel like he came in.
I even look at Arteta, right, in his first season at Arsenal. I'm not going to compare McTominay to Saka or Martinelli, right? But I'm talking about the youngsters as well, too. And again, not saying they're at the same level as them, but you'll never even know until you give them a chance, bro. Arsenal were in the pits, and the only way Arteta got out of that situation was by relying on youngsters, and they dug that club out single-handedly, bro. They dug that club out.
Chelsea had to do it. Well, it was a slightly different circumstance, but we had to trust all of the Cobham lot. We won the Champions League.
Forget about that. United's entire heritage is built off giving youngsters a chance, bro.
Facts. I was gonna say though, we do need to touch on Mr. Quickie Mart.
Casemiro.
Yes,
we do.
Brother,
you
asked me a few weeks ago.
Is it time to decommission?
Yeah.
Use my term. Use my term.
We got a decommission Casemiro. I love him.
Casemiro.
He's a dog.
Thank you. I think it was Scripto. Big up Scripto.
But every
said,
dog has his day, bro. You got to put this one down, man. Honestly.
Scripto.
That's the amazing thing is, because I can see what he wants to do.
Man said Scripto called him a box-to-box holding midfielder.
Bro, he keeps trying these Hail Mary passes, and I'm like, I can see what you're doing, but It ain't in your locker,
I've
lad.
never seen Fuad in my life. Because make one thing clear. Casemiro at his best was a world-class player.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But I've never seen a player of that quality so technically inefficient with the ball at his feet, bro. Because you talk about these Hollywood passes, he actually has those on lock. His long passing is actually, I think he's a good passer with the ball. I think that's not the thing that he's poor at. His focus and his concentration makes him one of the most careless, lazy passers of the ball that you'll see in that position. And the thing is, at holding midfield in today's game, you have to be basically faultless. When you look at the guys like Rodri, you look at guys like Partey. Every pass, 90% pass accuracy. This guy is 60, 70 if you're lucky. And the problem with him too is physically, he's cooked, bro. He's cooked. Guys are running off him. He's not tracking runners. You can get past him with one quick shimmy. He looks finished, man.
Did you not know that though when he was coming in?
And that's the problem.
This is the problem.
That's the problem
It's
with
the Ten Hag
United, bro. Casemiro gave you, I wouldn't even say a season, maybe 6 to 8 months of top play. But the guy's 30 years old, clearly on the decline. Real Madrid knew that, got money out of him and bought a better and younger replacement in Chouameni. And United are stuck in a situation where they've been so many times. Cavani, Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo, Varane, Casemiro. Yeah. It's the history of United post-Fergie where, okay, these guys will give you a year, but there's a reason why Real Madrid let go of Casemiro. There's a reason why Bayern Munich let go of Schweinsteiger. Because they're on the decline, bro. Only United are the suckers that are going to pay $60 million for these guys and pay them $300,000 a week.
Listen, man. You know, like you know about cars. You know when you buy the car, but you didn't see the Cat D sticker.
Oh, mate.
Casemiro is like a wire edge, bro.
You
like
run that through the checks,
bro.
man.
Honestly,
but the one thing is, I was
tired.
waiting for Ten Hag. Okay, are you gonna die on this Casemiro sword? Or are you gonna see that your job is at risk here and say, hey, if I die, I'm going out on my own sword.
Yeah.
I respect the fact that he took him out, came out and said that. And now going forward, how are you gonna line up now? Are we gonna see Amrabat as the holding midfielder? Are we gonna see Dan Gore come in? Yeah.
Kobe, Mount.
Maybe Hannibal in there as well too.
Yeah.
I think that's the way forward. It's not pretty. It's not going to win any leagues.
Yes.
But right now, this is survival mode, bro. Survive.
There's a name missing. I know.
There's energy.
Yeah, that's another one. Captain.
I'm waiting to see
Mr.
how
Captain.
long. I'm waiting
I
to
think so
see.
too, because already he's shown that he's willing to sacrifice Rashford. Rashford coming in here and out.
Yes.
Bruno, are you next?
Hey, I'm watching Ten Hag closely. I'm like,
But
he's making
I'll respect him if he goes out on his own sword, bro. Honestly.
Listen, Fergadani's army says United can take Lloris and Boateng in January.
Hey, yo.
Just Waffin says, because our performances are so disjointed, it's tough to see almost all good moments have come from ETH signings. He's lastly phasing in academy players so their confidence isn't shattered. Is he phasing in academy players?
I don't think nearly enough, in my opinion. I think
that?
for Ten Hag, for a guy that we were told so much at Ajax that he trusts in youth and plays them, I don't think he's done enough at United.
I think, no, last year was almost like the first 6 months dealing with the Ronaldo drama. The second 6 months, all right, let's just get over the line. And then you've walked into this season and it's kind of like...
Yeah, but
It is what it is, isn't it?
I hear it, but I still think for a guy that we were told so much at Ajax, okay, the whole team.
I just feel like
and I
it's
get
like-
Ajax is different. Ajax is like it's in the culture.
It's a volatile environment to introduce kids into, is what I'm thinking.
It's toxic.
And you see that prime
Sancho's not a
example with
kid.
Elanga.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
How was he treated? How was he chased out of the club? And
That's true.
I'm like,
But
this
Garnacho,
is
you
not
look
the
at him.
environment to be bringing in youths, because they start dropping the ball. All of a sudden, it's like, Dan Gore, get him out of here. They'll be calling him Dan.
Thing is, you see with United,
I didn't even say it, but you knew.
United are just United are just so like it's just so toxic. Like United are, you know when they say like you're only one loss away from a crisis,
Yeah.
United are like always like
We're FC Hollywood.
honestly like it's so mad. So again, with young players that are gonna have like peaks and troughs in their performance, it is very hard to put them into it. And I think ultimately over legacy as well, like we always talk about when Rashford got brought into the squad, he didn't have to carry. I don't think youngsters should come in and should have to carry the backs of Casemiro and Varane and whatnot. They should be implemented with a structure around them.
I know, but I just don't think like they've even been like. I know Menu played a bit in preseason, but I just look at Dan Gore, for example, and I'm not saying Dan Gore now is Pedri, but there's no way the way Casemiro is playing that Dan Gore couldn't come in there and give you at least some positivity, bro.
When Hannibal got dropped the next game after playing and everything.
But that's what Ten Hag, that's my point.
say-
Ten Hag, no, but that's my point. No, but that's my whole point. Ten Hag came out and said, "Oh, Hannibal he gives us a new element and he's putting people
Doesn't
on edge."
play him out
That's what,
till
and then the
next
next game he doesn't play at all, bro. What is that about?
I got like that one. I was
That's what I'm saying. So Ten Hag for me with youngsters, hey, I'm not hearing it
I
right
won't
now.
lie to you. His press conference after the game, when I say he was the lad, he says, Scott is so good, he's such a good boy.
No, he says it like, Scott is so good.
He
I love that.
He gives so much. Oh man, we still got a few more super chats. LJ Brown, I missed this one. Say Spurs are top. Matisse Nightmare, big up Matisse. What else we got? There was a few more. United are a bunch of individuals. Ole Ball with passing from the back. Bruno and Rashford are on fraud watch. Ten Haram is fence sitting between tactics. This is friendly enemy.
Time, man. Keep the faith, man. Y'all be.
Man, we're saying Coach Prime. Do you believe?
Yeah, man. Do you believe?
I think you got severe stocks.
Do you believe?
Huh? I'm not a blind believer. I believe when I see evidence.
I know,
Yeah.
but guess what? There was a time you, Lies, believed.
Of course.
And guess
of course.
what?
You
Let me say
believed.
this: there was a reason.
Of course.
You believed.
I still believe.
If those reasons weren't fickle, those beliefs should be strong.
No, but no, hold on.
Yeah?
I
We
believe
don't
Ten Hag is a
bend,
good
we
manager.
don't fold,
Nah.
we don't waver.
This is where you lose me.
Yeah?
This is where you lose me. For
See,
example.
man like
This is
you.
where you lose me. Nah, but this is where football fans lose me in terms of like, oh, I'm with Ten Hag no matter what. Nah. This is another. I'm not putting my bro.
We ride with that.
Ten Hag is a regular man, bro. I'm not putting my beliefs in this guy no matter what. What the hell? But I believe he's a good manager.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that Ten Hag, if he ever leaves United, will go to another job and show that he's a top manager. Just the same way I believe Graham Potter, because of his stat, Chelsea's a bad manager. But at the same time, I don't buy this whole thing that we can't question a
Will
manager.
Ten Hag turn this around? That's the question.
I don't know if it's possible at United, bro. I hope he can.
Do you believe?
But I have doubts.
Do you believe?
For me, I'm hoping and praying that this is a kick up the ass for everyone at United, and our season can kickstart here. I'm praying for it, but I've seen this at United over the years.
I was gonna say,
I've seen Newcastle against United with Mourinho. Remember when Alexis Sanchez scored in the last minute to make it 3-2?
Yeah.
We lost the next week after that, bro.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I hope, I believe, but I'm not 100% convinced right now, bro.
All I'm saying
Fred,
is,
man said, I don't get nervous.
Starting to get a little shaky.
No, I think though it's promising seeing him obviously drop the likes of Casemiro and things like that. I'm like seeing him move Rashford in and out. I'm like, please keep doing what you're doing. The fans will fall in line once the
I
result
think
starts to come.
the issue is, yeah,
I think he's a top manager in my opinion.
United
have
season
had
is
too many
United season is not
merry-go-round
done.
situations. Too many times they've trusted players. They know the board is a mess. So guess what? You know this one guy is decent. Just stick with it.
You know,
Listen, if you sack him and you start the cycle all over again, believe me, you are not going to be any better for it.
But
However, if you stick with it for a sustained period of time, I just feel like then you actually know, all right, you know what? We tried.
The thing with United, anyways, they
Sacking
can't
him
sack.
after 18 months?
They can't sack him in this season, right? Because there's no replacement out there. Like, who are you going to replace Eric Ten Hag with if you fire him right now? But at the same time,
Conte.
this is. If we sack Eric Ten Hag for Antonio
Real
Conte,
man.
I'm leaving with Ten Hag. How about that? I am not sitting with. I am not watching Antonio Conte football at my club, bro. I'm not here for it.
Swear.
I'm not here for it, bro. I'm not here for it. I want a manager to come in with his philosophy and play expansive, attacking, exciting football. I'm not trying to see it. I'm not trying to. Yeah, 100%. I would love. That's why I said you can't have Ange. He asked me, how do I feel watching Spurs right now as an outsider? I feel jealous, bro. That's what kind of football I want to be seeing my team play.
Remember I told you would be a good manager for you guys.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Remember I told you.
Whatever, man.
The question I've got to ask you is-
everyone's doing it. You told me now, man.
No, but I did.
Everyone was
I was
skeptical,
doing it
bruv.
SPO.
No one believes
Watch them
in Ange.
stat Rangers. The question I have to ask you is, the usual representative sat here and he said that United season is done.
I agree.
But what would be a salvageable season for United?
Salvageable is making top 4, top 5. I think, bro. Honestly, I don't see how anyone can say not making the Champions League when United came third and won a trophy last season would be okay. That's acceptable. At the very least, you have to maintain where you were, bro. And I get last season was kind of an off year because Liverpool were off, Chelsea were off, blah, 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 blah. But United were expected to take steps forward this season after the signings that they made. So I completely agree with Cam, bro. At the very minimum, we have to preserve what we did last season. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
So preserving would be finished top 4.
Yeah,
Finish
the
top four challenge for a cup.
This for me, it's not even because
The cup
at this moment right now, bro. United just needs to. We're in survival mode. We'll take what we can get. But us finishing outside of the top
October
five,
survival.
yeah,
mode.
we are. But that's why I think our
insane.
season is over. But if United are going to finish outside of the top four after last year and spending more money where we're supposed to improve, that's a massive failure on all fronts.
Fair dues. So do you believe that you can salvage the season?
No,
Damn.
I don't.
Yeah, to be fair, you called it quits.
There's nothing for me to suggest that it'll change, bro.
Yeah.
What are we watching? And there's no signs. There's no players that are showing you something. It's just like we're just scraping across the finish line. We're in October, bro.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Your boys are.
I was going to say, before we go into that, James Arthur says, more respect on Tony Cruz, please. Miro, enjoy the bag. Chelsea, bloody hell.
Yeah, bruv. The Raheem Sterling show, I'll call it this week, actually. I won't even call that the Chelsea show, but...
Cole Palmer show.
Cole Palmer, man.
Palmer
I tweeted a few weeks
soon
ago.
come.
When he signed, I was like, I like, players that have footballing principles. Someone that's coached well, just understands. I'm not going to just sacrifice the ball for no reason. I like the fact that he's come in and he's already putting his imprint on the team that he has to start. When I said it here, Cam laughed because how can Cole Palmer? But ultimately, that's where Chelsea are. Yeah. Cole Palmer is one of our better players with quality, so he has to be starting.
When Burnley took that lead, though, was you surprised? Sorry, was anyone surprised?
No, because
It's so mad, isn't it?
It's just like
Burnley took that lead last 30,
It's like, it's like, it's
normal.
It's like, let's see if there's any bounce back
If
ability.
anything, it was like how the game went afterwards. I was kind of like,
damn.
yo, what's going on here? I need to tune into this.
No, the issue is, I mean, I think everyone knows the run of games that we've got coming after the international break.
Yeah.
I think I put the tweet out and said, here comes the pain. We had to get results in these two games. What I don't like is the narrative's changing now where it's like, oh, we're moving. Yeah, it's just that we needed to score goals.
Is it? Because it's 3 wins in a row now.
It's 3 wins
You
in a
beat
row.
Brighton in the cup. And then back-to-back Premier League wins, which you hadn't had in how long, bro? Like,
on
if there's
paper-
ever a kind of, it's kicked off a little bit.
On
at least.
paper, what people will say is you're finally putting the ball into the net. All the battles you're winning on XG, you're actually winning in the real game now.
Yeah.
It's starting to click together.
Yeah.
The reality is, though, as we said, the easiest running, and it ended up looking like that. It shouldn't have been like that. You've now managed to win games, which is cool, but you're going into that hard run now where have you been able to, with you guys, your 8 first games, you can see that everything's come together. So you've got a foundation to build off of. A win against Fulham and Burnley, is that enough foundation to go into Brighton, Liverpool and everything?
When you've been at the rock bottom, I feel like Chelsea have been, you'll take any kind of
No,
stand.
I'm not saying I'm not taking
and
it.
I feel like the big thing that's been overlooked as well is I think in the first couple of games, you lot couldn't really figure out what system it was because Poch had played a 4-2-3-1 in the preseason. Then it was like, why is he changing the system? Then you had the injuries, I felt like. And the games after those maybe first 3, I felt like you were dominating all of them. You just weren't scoring. You actually had patterns of play. You were creating. And I was like, eventually it will click. Just kind of have patience. Now, Nico Jackson's got a couple of goals he's chipped in. Roja's chipped in with a couple of goals. Caicedo, all of a sudden, the last couple of games has looked solid. Sterling's now turning up, looking like he's trying to be a leader. Cole Palmer, I'm seeing promises. The centre-backs are looking half decent. I'm like, yeah, if anything,
It's signs of encouragement.
Chelsea could be this season in that team just outside the Champions League, competing for the Champions League 1 game a week, I think could come to fruition. I don't think it's bad to say that these 3 games are kind of like, okay, our season has kicked off. Because I know you'll say Burnley, rock bottom. You got to win. It don't matter.
No, and it was a convincing
Fulham,
win.
if I'm not mistaken, that was the first team above you that you beaten in what,
Since
2 years or
or
whatever it was?
like a year and a bit.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
2021 was the last time we beat a team above us. Bro, you take that, man.
Take
I always
it
say,
to
the bank.
You know the tweet that season starts today. That was after the Fulham game.
That was after the Brighton game.
The Brighton one.
Yeah.
That was the proper one. And I think ultimately what you're saying is we always say that profiles in football is so important. Cole Palmer, someone that plays football intricately. Raheem Sterling is a runner. We've always said it. At City, he was great at running at people arriving on the ball. Just do that.
Yeah.
Mudryk, just run forward. I don't need to see you doing anything else. Colwill at left back, the way he's been played there, it works. And it's like, okay, how do you start connecting these profiles together? Which credit, people are stepping up. You mentioned something, Conor Gallagher needs a lot of credit because I said it here, people have to rise in certain situations. And he's taken it on his back. He's had the captain's armband. And he's been there. Like, don't get me wrong. There's certain parts of his game that are frustrating.
Yeah.
But he will always turn up. He will run for 90 minutes and he'll do what he has to do. And he's been good. Caicedo's improving in there as well. No one's making fun out of him anymore.
Cucurella inverted fullback. Listen,
do you know the one I want to mention?
That's what I'm saying. There's been a lot of meals
The one I want to mention is no one's had to say anything about Disasi.
Hold on, can I say something on Disasi too? By the way, right? This is where like these nerds on Twitter who's just they watch the game through FT or what is it? The FBref.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a red in
percentile.
Shut the hell up, man. What the hell are we doing here, bro? Bro. He has not really put a foot wrong. Okay, he's had a few mistakes here and there, but every center back does, bro. Him and Badia should look great together, man.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Monaco partnership as well.
Yeah, but the thing is with Disasi is stylistically he probably doesn't look easy on the eye to most people. They're like, that's not one from a centre half, but you can't fault what he's doing. My thing now is, based on what we've seen, there's signs of encouragement, definitely. Yeah. There's things to look forward to when players get back. It's now about, okay, Pochettino, can you take what we have here and from what we knew of you, implement your game management to put us in situations where we can potentially take stuff in this next run, because the run's tough. It's a tough run.
But that's the thing. Let it be tough. I feel like that's almost like how the first 4 or 5 games, we had Burnley, we had Sheffield United. It's cool, nice confidence. Now the tough game comes. I was looking forward to the Arsenal Liverpool because I'm like, now I want to see you man's level. Let me see who sink or swim.
That's the difference.
You lot have a lot of newbies at your club as well. Mudryk, cool. Let me see if you sink or swim. Sterling, you can turn up against Burnley. You can turn up against Luton.
Turn up against
the big dogs
team,
now.
100%.
Can you lead the young pack?
100%.
Cole Palmer, it's nice and cute. Penalty from the spot. You got your scratch off. Now
can you turn up against your old team?
So for me, these tests shouldn't be like and I've said, these fixture lists, whenever they look like that, they never turn out like that. They never turn 7 L's because 7 tough fixtures. You're going to get some wins. You're going to get some draws. Huh?
Unless you're City.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're City, of course, yeah.
Then it's cash money.
But I feel like Chelsea should almost look forward to this challenge.
No, you have,
be like,
you have to relish it.
All right, we've beaten what we're supposed to beat. Now let's see if we can compete with the teams that we're supposed to compete with. Let's be honest.
You have to relish it. But again, it goes to that point where with the Spurs example, you kind of built that foundation. We missed a golden opportunity to do that. Imagine that with that run, small things were done right.
Yeah, because
Chelsea's
they
season,
beat the teams they should have. They really didn't.
Chelsea's season would be looked at completely different.
Yeah.
And ultimately, and this is why it's frustrating, because people are saying that, oh yeah, but it was cooking. It's just that people weren't scoring. So you're telling me that because we decided not to score for 5 games, we're not up there with Spurs. That's basically what I'm saying. If that's true, then that means that people are saying that we should be level with Spurs, where Spurs are now, which is not right.
Yeah,
that's
I
not
agree.
realistic.
I agree.
So ultimately, we were bad. We're growing into the season. Now, you've managed to get 2 wins at a pivotal point that when you go into these games, you have a little bit of confidence. We're still picking up injuries left, right, and centre. There you go. But we see how it goes, man.
What did you make of, or what have you made of Caicedo since the opening game? Because I feel like the first 2 games,
nightmare.
We spoke a lot on
horror.
Yeah. It was horror,
Caicedo,
and we all laughed and said, blah blah, 150 mil. But since then, I wanna. I take a little reflection,
I've been a big
and I know you've been
I've been a big critic of the fee.
Yeah.
I think Caicedo is a great player, and
he's not worth that much.
I've said it time and time again. I have no doubt that him and Enzo can form, for me, what is one of the best midfield pivots in the league for the next 5-10 years. I just don't think that fee will ever make sense to me. But credit to him, like, he's not in control of that. At this point, he can only give us performances. In the last few weeks, he's shown what he can do. Tidy on the ball. I call him an octopus in terms of the way he defends, bro. Like, the way he can win these tackles that seem just impossible to do is a skill in itself. He's exactly what they need in there. And I think the one for me that needs to rise now is Enzo. Because I think he's typically the one that Chelsea fans, they love so much. I agree. He's a great player. I think at his best, he's Chelsea's best player. But the last few weeks, I think he has been outshone a bit by a guy like Gallagher, who, I'm not a big fan of Gallagher whatsoever. I think right now, okay, he's good for what Chelsea need, but going forward, when they start to get a little more competitive, I think he's going to start getting shifted out. He's playing better than Enzo right now. So Enzo, I want to see that Enzo that we saw at the World Cup, that Enzo that we saw at times last season, dictate games for me, bro. Because I know Enzo, when he's on it, I'm a huge fan.
It's like tackles, shots, passes, everything was like
he's a controller.
You're like, bro, he's everywhere.
Yeah, the issue in that midfield, and I don't want to make it like a Chelsea whatever thing, it's just that everyone was trying to figure out what is my actual job here. So the first few games, Caicedo was like, okay, I need to clean up, but there's 2 of us here. I'm basically ineffective. Now he gets to do that by himself. With Gallagher knows that he can run. His progressive passes won't be great, but he can run around. With Enzo's actually doing a lot of good work progressively. It's just like going forward, we've been piss poor.
Yeah.
So then that looks like a bad reflection on him.
I think two of him. You need to find what is
feel
his
like that's
role
a
in
bit
this
of a-
team, right? Because the last few weeks he was almost playing as like a number 10,
He went
which
to
I
10.
don't think is his
He's
role
not a 10.
whatsoever. He needs to be sitting next. But then the thing is, when Lavia comes back, what does the midfield look like then?
I was
Exactly.
gonna say, like, Enzo has to accept that he's gonna be the most advanced of the midfield three.
Which
like
I don't know if I
But
like.
again,
to
you
be
don't know
honest.
that because if Nkunku
But
comes
last
back-
season when he was playing the six, it was like, oh, he's not the six.
But
So
that's the thing. I think he's like in a double pivot. You play him the more advanced of the
Advanced
two.
one. There
So
you
he's
go.
almost like if you have a 3, he's like the 8. You have a 6, 8, 10.
so you're still searching for that 10 then.
well,
Is it Nkunku? So that's why for me, I never got the Lavia signing, for example. I still think he should have gone to Liverpool. But
Listen,
like Maze is kind of saying, you're kind of you're not making it up as you go along, but you're finding
You're
out as you
figuring
get
out.
along.
You're figuring out. So again, to your point, you said with Poch that November is when you get a true reflection. It might come cash
Same,
money.
man.
It might come cash money.
Believe.
Do you believe?
Hey, man, listen. I keep telling Chelsea fans and United
Hey.
fans, believe.
Yeah, because these are your guys, bro.
They
Poch and Ten Hag, bro. They're his guys.
They're
Kev
not
is
my
right about
guys.
you.
They're not my
Yeah,
guys.
they are
Yeah.
ex manager, ex Spurs manager.
Guess what? I should be screwing at Poch because he's managing rivals. But I
Yeah.
can put my objectivity
Rivals
aside and
high.
say, yo, and I saw what he did here with a young crop of players. Just have some patience.
I know, but you still
Ain't
have
too
you
much.
still have that.
Ten Hag. What favors do I have?
You're an
to do?
IX. Hey, you're an IX boy. Don't do that.
Hey, listen.
Don't try that shit with me, bro.
New audience, they don't know.
Edward David, Seydor.
Mahmoud Omar said, if we play no left back against Arsenal, we are done in relation to Chelsea because we've got them first game back for international break. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Be
If they play
interesting.
who left back?
No left back because we've been playing with Cole. We've not been playing actual left back at left
I
back.
mean, Matson's there, Cucurella's there. They can
Yeah, there's
both play
options.
there. But
There's options.
for me, I think Colwell. Yeah, listen, let's see. Colwell v Saka. I'm trying to see that.
I would be there.
I love a good
matter
duel up,
what,
man.
No matter what. Anything else to discuss? Should we go champ and duds? Trying to think anything else happened.
Everton won. Congratulations.
Everton. No, that was actually a good win, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
Everton.
win.
Played
Bournemouth. I'm watching them closely, bro.
Listen,
0
man.
wins so far this season.
Listen, man.
I
Just
had, I
pack
had
your
them as
bags.
my. I
Yeah,
can't lie to
Raola,
you,
they
my
were
pick
gassing
is
up
Everton
Boyo,
this
man.
year.
No one's
your
gassing
bags
up
and
your
go.
Raiola.
We know.
Gary O'Neill he's trying to cook something.
I like. I'm a Gary O'Neill fan. I
He's
can't
trying
lie
to
to you.
cook something.
Justice for him. I'm
You-
glad Bournemouth are suffering because of how they did him. But also, I always felt like his Wolves team were playing well in games, but just
Yeah, they
not getting
they
that
bossed
stroke
us, bro.
luck. Yeah, and then now they're starting to kind of get that little bit. So. If we're going into champs, send your champs and duds as well. in
Yeah,
the
send
comment
champ.
section
So I
as
forgot to say
well.
this.
We'll try and-
Adam sent his tubes out. Said also McSauce saved and Ten Hag's bacon.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
discussed
yeah,
that, but
new
I forgot to
5-year
say,
deal, baby. It's in the works. Don't
Hey,
worry.
hold on a minute, player.
Listen,
Hold on. Hey, listen.
We still shipping you off to West Ham. We still shipping you off to West Ham in January, bro.
you're still paying the value of the brick.
Yeah. Price of the brick going up, bro.
Thanks, Scott. Oh my gosh, champs.
My champ, I think you mentioned it briefly as well.
Go on.
Olivier Giroud. I think
Oh,
going
yeah.
in goal for your
Clean
team.
sheet.
Keeping the clean sheet.
Clean
Not just
sheet.
that as well, but the save at the
save,
end as
yeah,
well. I
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
cojones to
Yeah,
come out.
yeah,
You know what they say? At the striker's feet is the most dangerous area.
Yeah,
You're there.
yeah,
You know where it's
yeah.
been. So credit to him.
Do you know what it
keeping the
reminds me
clean
of?
sheet.
You know how they say like, with strikers, yeah. If you're a centre half, you could probably play as a striker because you know what the strikers gonna do.
Yeah.
It's like I hate when goalkeepers do this to me, so I'm just gonna crash at your feet. I was like, fair play, respect it.
I think Jude Bellingham,
Oh, definitely.
10 in 10.
Listen, we need to discuss. We've got a super chat here that came in very early. It says it's from Dennis the Great. It says Bellingham more goals than Haaland. Which is a bit of a
Hey.
it's a gender searching, but
hate you lot.
it's a gender searching.
I hate you lot.
Don't go where I can't follow. Don't go where I can't follow.
Why do you not do these things?
It's a gender searching, but for me, Bellingham is going to be my champ because listen, we have to call it what,
not
what
wrong.
it is, right? he
Hey,
ain't wrong.
Hey, what? 2 strikers, bro.
He ain't wrong. But the reason why
They're calling him
Bellingham-
Jude Van der Sar.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Rude Bellingham.
I'm telling you. Jude Van Basten.
Jude Van Basten is hilarious. The reason I respect it is many players have gone into the Real Madrid change room and crumbled, man.
Yep.
Crumbled. And like, don't get me wrong, they've not had forwards this year, so he has to play in this role. But 10 goals in 10 games at Madrid,
It's sensational.
it's crazy.
It's
I think
sensational.
Ronaldo, that's
Winners.
Ronaldo-esque.
He's equal.
winners.
He
Yeah, as
equalized Cristiano Ronaldo's
Yeah.
record for goals in his first 10
Bro,
games.
6 or 7 man of the match performances like that. He's one man of the match. let it
And I
be.
think-
Let's talk about how it is. What he's doing right
It's
now
not normal.
is not normal. It's sensational. We had a conversation off air when we said about if you're speaking about footballers at a young age that have had to go in and be the man in the moment, there's two that come to mind. Haaland had to do it, and Bellingham at the high level.
In terms of recent.
In terms of recent, Mbappe got a year where he can kind of, the loan year at
Neymar.
PSG.
It was Neymar's year. Yeah,
Exactly. They've had to come in at the high level.
I'm saying Rooney when he was young.
Yes,
R9 as well too.
Bro, I literally said it like I think last month when he got the third goal. I think I said he's in that realm of the supreme wonder kids, the Rooney, Ronaldo's, the Mbappe's, that special class where you're like, oh, this is a whole freak of nature that we're gonna just enjoy for the next 15 years. And
the thing with Bellingham too, right? His mentality,
maturity as well, yeah.
His maturity, his mentality, his IQ is just like it's that of a 28-year-old. Honestly, like the way he's playing, I'm the one who said for over a year now that he's a final third player, but people take that as a diss. It's not. The positions and the attacking IQ that he has to get in the positions that he's getting into, it's not normal to see from a player of this age, bro. That's something that you almost see like developed. At this age, footballers almost want to get touches of the ball. They want to get involved. This guy has just the composure and the mentality to just play his game at a stage like the Bernabeu for Real Madrid.
Do you know?
We've seen Hazard crumble. We've seen Kaká crumble. We've seen some of the best players of all time come to this club, and it's eaten them alive.
Do you know how
You just said. You know what you just said
quickly
there?
though?
Go.
Do you know who that reminds me of as well? And in the system-wise, especially, Pogba at Juve, where he's at the tip of the diamond. You've got Marchisio. You've got
I'm so happy you brought this up.
like Matuidi.
Yeah.
You've got all these guys.
Pirlo, yeah.
You do that,
Yeah.
and you just
And
kill
this,
it.
Don't
this
worry
is
about
why
anything
Don't
else.
worry about anything else. And you've got that with Valverde,
Yeah.
Tchouaméni,
Modric.
Camavinga, Modric.
Cruz.
We'll do
Kroos,
that.
And Fouad, this is
You
why
just do
I
the
said at
killing.
the time it was the perfect move for him. Because first of all, Ancelotti, love him or hate him, I call him the midfield whisperer.
Yeah.
He finds these profiles and just finds a way in midfield of getting the best. I remember he brought Malouda into midfield. He brought Di Maria into midfield. They had career years.
Yeah, man.
And second of all, him going to Liverpool, I'll say it again, would have been like Pogba going to Man United because they would have expected him to play a role that
Do
isn't the
everything.
best and completely change life for them in midfield. When that's just not how you get the best out of Jude Bellingham. Madrid and him are a match made in heaven at the moment. Bro. I
I
can't
can't
wait
he
to see
stays
more
there
of it.
long term though in that position.
Why not? Why not?
I think you see to this point,
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to bring up the Haaland thing again, but ultimately, what Jude Bellingham's doing, he's maximizing what he's great at.
Yeah.
What he's also shown as well is that there's other aspects which he's willing to learn, like some of the assists and everything he's doing. It's like, so Kroos and Modric to do this. What will become interesting is if there's ever a case where this role he's playing, you then have to do more than that. But I don't think it'll ever happen because you've got Tchouaméni and Camavinga and all of these guys in those
Goulet.
positions.
You've got
anyway.
these guys for the next
so
10
you
years,
wouldn't
too, that's
have
the
to
thing.
then go into a position where I need him to be this centre mid that gets on the ball because you just have to maximize what you're good at. So I think he can continue to cook here and improve at what he's doing because he's not just people just think he's tapping in goals. Like,
No.
do you know how hard it is to score a goal?
And don't get it twisted too, right? Losing Benzema, not replacing him of a like for like elite level number
Who's the
9.
striker? Hosselu.
Joselu. And to be fair, Joselu has done
He's
a
done
job.
decent.
He's done
Yeah,
his
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
But
He's done
Bellingham is literally carrying Real Madrid's attack right now. That can't be underestimated.
But yeah.
Can't, man.
I'll give you my
He's
I'll give you my champ. And
Van de
it's- No, it's not. Well, although Van de Ven, you know what? He's been my champ since I met him, bro. let me give you
Fanboy.
Let me give you
Fanboy.
my champ. And it's some people are gonna be like, oh, I'm not trying to. I know if Cam was here, he wouldn't want to hear it. Romelu Lukaku has come to Roma and rediscovered himself again. And I know we've seen it before of Inter, but you have to give him his credit, bro. He's scoring goals when a lot of people thought his career was kind of done. The year he had at Inter was poor last season. Let's not get it twisted. So credit to Lukaku for coming in and doing what he's done his entire career. Score goals at the highest level.
Well done for doing your job, bro.
Does the mailman celebrate when he delivers mail?
Can Nico Jackson do his job, please? Can Broja do his job, please?
Listen, wait.
Can Mudryk do his job,
wait.
please? Can
If
Cole Palmer do his job, please?
if
Thank you, Lukaku.
if Lukaku
I
done
love Lukaku.
if Lukaku done his job, he would still be here in London with Rock Nation with his fine ass girlfriend that left him because he didn't do his job.
Damn.
Had to go and get job seekers and go to Italy, man.
Everyone
Do your
at
job.
Chelsea was doing their job. Thank
your
you, Rom.
job.
You're my champ of the week.
Let's go, duds.
Duds. Christopher Ayer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You, my friend, are a dud.
Dud, a massive
Listen,
one.
I'm all for the passion thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've noticed more and more over the past 2 years or so, it's become more of a thing where players celebrate tackles. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I love it.
Yeah.
He probably thought, obviously, seeing the Newcastle game midweek,
Yeah.
Dan Burn, everyone
Yeah.
giving it after every tackle. Crowd jumps. This was not your time, bro. This was not your stadium. This was not your game. Calma. Because 1 minute you're doing this, the next minute he's collapsed on the floor, 2-1 down. I said, yeah, you
it's
got to
so
hold that
mad.
one, man. He proper thought, I know when he did it as well.
Yeah.
He had like, you know, a viral moment
Yeah.
He saw Newcastle. He saw Newcastle midweek. He's like, yeah. This gets 30K retweets. Let me do that.
You're not that guy, man.
Aye.
You're
We're in the
not that
social
guy.
media era. He saw that Newcastle could go viral. He's like, yeah, let me get some of that for
Hold
Brentford.
that.
Speaking of Newcastle midweek, the duddery that was on display, I am so sorry.
From Newcastle or PSG?
PSG,
Oh, yeah, they're duds.
you are the dud. Bro, 4-zip,
Yeah.
4-1. They got
4-1,
one.
4-1. Yeah, they got something.
fam. 3-zip and aggregate.
Yeah.
Them man got, bro. They let two hometown boy. Nah. What PSG did midweek? Mbappe. Remember when Mbappe was saying it's called Deno? It's called Deno.
I was hoping they'd be losing, but they're currently winning 2-0.
PSG. That don't mean anything. They got smoked.
Yeah.
Group of death
Yeah,
hype.
they still got
They got smoked. I forgot a champ. You know, is it Gurasi? I don't know how to pronounce his surname properly.
The guy in Bundesliga.
Bro,
Stuttgart striker.
still got
Yeah.
strikers moving cold.
15
bro.
million. Doing bits, but
Moving cold, man. I don't know how long it goes on for,
Yeah.
but credit where credit is due.
I don't know,
He was the
all of a
first
sudden we
striker to
start
get to the.
rating Bundesliga goal scorers.
No, but it's the quality of goals.
Whoa. Ain't your guy in the Bundesliga now?
Who?
Harold.
Yeah. Go
Please,
stop that, my brother.
please win the Golden Boot.
We've been done our thing.
Please score more than
What are you doing here? Wait,
Please score more than Boniface.
Please score more than
Please score more than
Lewandowski.
Boniface.
Please win the league.
You want to
Wait,
get
hold on,
on
wait,
Lukaku?
wait,
Start
wait,
dissing
wait,
Bundesliga.
wait,
You want to
wait,
get on Lukaku and do this?
Wait. Where are Bayern Munich?
They're not third.
Hey,
They're not second.
Lias.
Wait, where Bayern Munich?
Yeah,
They're third.
nasty.
Oh, wait, by the way, hold on.
I don't even
forgot,
care.
I forgot Champ of the Week as well. Xabi Alonso, what he's doing
Yes.
over there, Leverkusen with those boys, playing good football,
Hey,
winning games.
Can
They
I
look
just say though,
unbelievable.
it's weird. He is going to Madrid, I think, next year.
Yeah.
Where Carlo Ancelotti is going to Brazil next year. Like these future moves of managers, bro. Just get the thing done and move over there now. Like, what are we doing?
Nah, man, because you have to
What?
you have to finish off what you started, innit? You just can't just hopping up in.
Leverkusen had a great window. I think everyone recognized that
Yeah.
without spending a lot of money,
Yeah.
and they're reaping the rewards right
Reinvesting
now.
in
I got
place,
one dud,
Go on.
and I think this could be the last time I ever call him a dud because I think his career might be ending right now, bro.
Paul Pogba.
Pour one out to my boy La Pioche, man. You were a good dude. I'm officially entering Paul Pogba's admission into Good Dude University. I think it's over for him, bro. If
what he
this
done.
ends up being a 4-year ban,
Oh,
He has
what
to
he
retire.
done.
which is what the maximum it could be,
He has to
bro, he
retire.
might as well call
over.
it quits, bro.
He
You
has
don't
to
even
retire.
got Saudi to go to at the moment. I think it's just so. Again, this is the difference that you get between me and Cam. If Cam was coming here, he'd be dancing on his grave right now. But Pogba, I think it's really sad seeing what this guy was capable of, what his potential could have been, what we saw earlier in his career. The way it's panned out in the last 5-6 years for a talent of that level is sad for me to see, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Don't want to give your boy McTom?
Huh?
McTom now?
Champ?
What do you guys do after champs and duds? Is there another round? I haven't seen-
I'm McTominay, you're my champ, man. I'll give it to you, Vivo.
Hey, listen, man. You know what? I'll give one to Martinelli as well for that performance, man. Why are you so anti-Arsenal? I just
I
said
want
that
to give
see what his
deflected
response-
own goals and that. Like, end the show,
They
man.
want to give Havertz the assist.
End the show, lad.
He smacked it off Ake's
End the
face,
show,
bro.
lad.
Whoa.
He smacked it off Ake's face, bro. He did.
Hey,
No, I said,
Hey, yo.
I said in the first. Why are you repeating yourself?
Because, yo, there's no pause there, right? Do that shit with Cam, bro.
Hey, listen. That's a pause as well. Hey, you're just a pause machine. Damn.
Reminded, bro.
Listen, man.
Get to find
Like,
out the gun.
share, subscribe. We'll be back next week. You already know. Oh, international break. That'll be interesting. We'll have something for you anyway.
Yeah.
Listen, man. We'll be back. Smash the like button on your way out, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Arigato.